Hello everybody, welcome back to the United Stand. Today's video is an Osimhen scout report. We're going to be deep diving into statistics, his style of play, strengths, weaknesses. We're going to smash out, and I'm here joined by Beth, who is, I think, Osimhen's biggest fan. I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't be surprised if she's got a big fat tattoo of Osimhen on her arm. But what do you, just quickly, give me your thoughts on why you think Osimhen to Manchester United would work.
I'll get his hairstyle if he signs for us.
Yeah,
if he signs for us.
You heard it here first.
No, you know me, when I like a player, I really like a player. Like, we had the same kind of thing going on with João Felix, but with Osimhen, like, he's like the missing piece of the puzzle for me, for Erik ten Hag and his team. He's probably, if we did manage to sign him, he'd been the most excited I've got about a transfer in a long time. Casemiro was up there for me on this. He would be like a Casemiro type signing with the amount he'd impact the team. He's strong, he's quick, he's young, he's a in the penalty box striker, and I just think he is the missing piece to this puzzle for Erik ten Hag. Bring him to United is what I would say on that. And
yeah, one of the missing pieces.
Yeah, one of the missing pieces, but I think it's one of the main factors. And bring him to United, let's have a competition. Him and Haaland are at it. I think he can compete.
Yeah, he's going to cost a pretty penny, and the reason, to be fair, he'll cost a pretty penny, and we'll go into some stats right now. So he's played 18 games so far. I think that is just in, obviously, the Serie A. Scoring 13 goals, getting 3 assists, and 4 of those 13 goals are with his head, so showing that he can score headed goals. It's not just, you know, he's not just a tap-in merchant or, you know, Haaland or anything like that. But, you know, there's versatility to his game, which is brilliant, and we will go into a little bit of his style of play, which Beth will know all about. But he is, as she alluded to, very direct, very getting behind. He's literally the complete opposite to Harry Kane, yeah, isn't he? Which is positive and negative, depends on how you want to play. Do you think he literally is, I mean, you said he was the missing piece or one of the missing pieces. Do you think that if you literally put Osimhen in today's Manchester United 11, do you think, well, let's just say, how many goals do you think he scores in a season for Manchester United?
It's tough. More next season than he does now, because I still think we need another box-to-box midfielder, and I still think Erik ten Hag needs to work on his style of play. I mean, we've improved leaps and bounds, but we need to get more crosses in from the full-backs. We need more link-up play from the wingers and the full-backs. We need the wingers to be getting more crosses in. Anthony, I'm looking at you. Get some more crosses in the box. Sancho's yet to return. I think Sancho could be key when we get a striker, by the way.
Hopefully.
He is the type of player that we need when we actually have a proper striker in the box, because we have called it a graveyard shift a little bit for United strikers, but we are getting more chances now under Ten Hag. It is happening. I think next season we'll get even more, but there is a few chances I've seen us miss because we've not had that out-and-out number 9, and I think Osimhen, if I'm being honest with you, if he comes into the Man United team this summer, next season I would expect in this Erik ten Hag team, the way he's going now, at least 20 goals, and I think that's not really unrealistic. Yeah. 20 goals across the season, I'm talking all competitions here, is he can get that easily, and that's me kind of underestimating it. I actually expect a little bit more from him. But 20 at least.
I would be looking for more. I think what. One thing, because look, as much as if he does come in and score 20 goals, if Rashford could then score another 20 goals, and then, you know, you've got Anthony and Sancho, Bruno pitching in, it's perfect. But
we don't have a 20-goal a season striker right now, do we? Like, Rashford's numbers have been good after the World Cup, but we don't have someone where you know they're guaranteed 20 goals. Like, that's the 20-goal season striker, and he could provide that.
I mean, I was going to say I can't remember the last time we had a striker like that, and loads of people say Martial when he scored 20 goals, you know, when him and Rashford had that one good season together. But that's it. Like, he hasn't, you know, his numbers haven't been too bad, but that's no disrespect. I really like Martial, to be fair, in this
I still think he definitely played a part.
Yeah, 100%. But the positives with Osimhen is just that he's so quick. It's actually, I feel like when you say someone's quick, it's quite easy to, you know, there's a lot of quick players, but like Osimhen is absolutely rapid to the point of he's quick. He's almost quicker with the ball at his feet as well, which is like the scary thing. You know, when you're in a foot race with someone, like your Walcotts, when you're in a foot race, they're quick. But I feel like when Walcott had the ball, he wasn't actually that quick because he was easier to be tackled and stuff, whereas Osimhen is ridiculously quick. He thrives in transitions, which is what Manchester United are going to look to do. Quick ball turnovers, ball recoveries. So say Casemiro wins the ball back, and a little bit like one of the previous games which we had, Casemiro wins the ball back, and what was it? Was it the Everton game where he played it through and Ronaldo went straight? I mean, literally prime example.
Yeah, that is what he'd be looking to do.
But Osimhen would do that better and a lot more often, 100%. But go on.
I was just about to say, do you know what I just wanted to throw there about Osimhen is, we've been speaking about Osimhen for quite a long time. Everyone has, it's not just me, like everyone has been speaking about Osimhen. He's a target that we've looked at. He's an up-and-coming striker, young, fresh, and he has got the exact qualities that this United team would thrive off. But a lot of people say you never watch. I've heard people say it in the comments when I brought Osimhen up before. You've never watched Osimhen. You don't know what Osimhen can do. I've watched Napoli actually quite a lot this season because I started to see Osimhen last season. Started to see kind of what he was about. I know he does have injuries, which we'll get onto in a minute, and he has had a few injuries that have kept him out. But when he's played, he's been brilliant. And I watch Napoli in the Champions League. I watch glimpses of him all the time. So when we do these videos, we are watching these players and seeing what they look like. And if I didn't, we'd just say it.
Yeah.
I think it's hard not to see Osimhen right now. He's everywhere. Like,
especially Napoli's performances as well. Like, I mean, there's a lot of good players in that team, right? We're not Gabby Bonglahor. We do our research before making videos and making statements on certain situations and people. But Osimhen's XG per 90 is 0.76, so almost nearly a goal a game, pretty much. And his expected assist per 90 is 0.1. I mean, you're not expecting him to get assists as a striker.
We're not getting a midfielder. We're getting a striker.
Exactly. Nearly 4 shots per 90. His offensive duels is nearly 10 as well, and he nearly has. He has just over 6 touches in the opposition box per 90, which doesn't sound a lot, but you think the box isn't that big of a box, is it? So, you know, you'd like to say he's scoring with those touches.
And when we were comparing it to Harry Kane and Vlahovic as well, his touches in the box were a lot higher than them two players. So he is getting in the box and he's occupying space. How many times have we seen it at United when we're looking to cross in the box and no one's there? He will be that guy who is waiting there, and he can get his head on it as well, which is perfect because we're missing that a lot of times in the box.
Indeed, indeed. I think one thing that does actually go unnoticed with Osimhen, and not just him, a lot of players, is how intelligent footballers actually are in terms of anticipation, reading, you know, if I go and make this run, if the defender's going to follow me, you know, what's the next thing? How do I help my teammates out? It's one thing that he is very good at. He's one that likes to lead from the press. Again, something that Manchester United are needing in a forward, something that Martial doesn't really get praise for is his pressing in terms of just kind of running at defenders. Obviously, Weghorst has been brought in maybe for that reason. But a little bit to do with his successful defensive actions as well, as I say, in presses, etc. He has just over 3 of those per 90. His defensive duels is nearly 3. And out of those 3 duels, he wins over 50%, 58%. And he does have nearly 5 aerial duels. So he is, as I said, with his 4-headed goals, a presence in the air also. But a little bit to do with his weaknesses that I have noticed is his balance. He is someone that sometimes his first touch or there is something else. His balance and distribution, basically. So sometimes his passes and therefore balance is not as good as the likes of your Harry Kane. You know, Harry Kane almost seems to be able to wiggle out of any situation, can bring a ball down anywhere, whereas Osimhen's almost a little bit awkward looking in the sense of bringing the ball down. It's not too great. But what I mean, look, his touch doesn't have to be that good. If his touch is bad in front of him, we'll just run onto it and get it, right? Which is a positive. But they're the only 2 notable weaknesses that I did have, was his distribution and his balance. Distribution sounds weird, but what I mean by that is his passing ability. Yeah. But again, as a forward, I think it's almost overlooked, I guess, just because, I mean, Kane's passing ability is incredible. Yeah. And you don't really need that as a number 9, do you?
No. The one thing I would say on this topic is 100% when you look at him comparing to Kane, Kane is a midfielder and striker in one. Like
two positions, isn't
it?
Yeah.
Then when you look at Kane's negatives is the lack of pace. Osimhen has that pace, which is can be deathly in transitions for Man United. What I personally want is I want someone who's a quick, who's a presence, and I want someone that's going to put the ball in the back of the net. That's the main thing that we need from this. So we've got players on the pitch that can pass the ball. Yeah. We need someone who can score. I think
conclusions from this video, we're going to keep it short and sweet. I think, well, we know he's smart, quick, an aggressive poacher.
Ready to take that step up as well, I would say.
And look, Napoli are having a ridiculously good season.
Not win the Serie A, probably.
Yeah, not just Osimhen. I'm sure they'll go even further in the Champions League as well. But what I expect is a lot of those players to move on to better clubs. There's that winger, I will not try and pronounce his name. I know
exactly who you mean.
Zambo Anguissa, who's very, very good. Kim Min-jae. There's loads of players, and I'm sure their team will probably get purged, as you know, and they'll end up at your Madrid, your Barcelonas. They might move to Juventus and all them other teams, and then the Premier League also. But I think, despite the large price tag that we are going to have to pay, what we're saying, probably upwards of 80 plus, definitely, you'd say?
I would say 100.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a significant amount of money. I think, regardless, he is going to get that move.
When you think of what we bought Anthony for, and this is not Anthony's fault, it is John Murtaugh's fault for not doing this deal earlier, you think Anthony for 90 mil, I'm sorry, Osimhen's going to cost at least 100.
It does work weird that way in football, doesn't it? Because then again, I wouldn't be surprised if we got Osimhen for like the same price.
It's like Nunes as well. How much is Nunes? 100 mil?
Yeah.
That's the going rate these days. It's crazy.
It's crazy. But Osimhen is a very, very good fit for Manchester United, I think, as we have both said. That pacey, getting behind striker is perfect for kind of what we're looking for and what we haven't had in so long. So, yeah, that's going to round off the Osimhen Scout Report. Appreciate everyone for watching. Please leave a like on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.